All right, I am calling to order the September 17th regular Board of Education meeting for Chico Unified School District. The board is going to go into closed session. At this point, I would like to ask for any public comment on closed session items. Seeing none, the board will adjourn to closed session until approximately 6 p.m. Evening, everybody. It is great to see so many of you here. Welcome to the September 17th, 2025 Chico Unified School District Board of Education meeting. We are thrilled to have you. The board was until recently in closed session, or I should let you know, just so you know, this meeting is being live streamed and recorded. For those of you who can't make it, it will be available online to watch. We were in closed session until just recently. No action was taken during closed session. With that, I would like everyone to please join me in standing for the flag salute. Salute. Flag. Thank you. I know. We have an amazing looking front row, and they're so excited to be here. Can't wait to see what you guys have in store. But first, I'm going to hand it over to our superintendent for anything he might have to report to us.
All right. Well, I am excited that we have students here from Little Chico Creek to share. Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. And I'm actually going to turn it over to their principal, Christian Schrock, to tell us the rest of the story.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Schrock, principal of Little Chico Creek. I would like to introduce our 3 fifth-grade teachers who have brought a variety of students here who are going to do something special in honor of today. So come on up. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
Okay. Well, I know you don't want to hear from me. You'd rather hear from the students. So today is Constitution Day, which I think we probably all know. It's the anniversary that we celebrate. So can I have all my 5th graders stand? And where do we want them? All the way up here.
But really, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. And your colleagues.
You want to hear from each one?
Yeah, just your name. You can introduce yourself and your colleagues,
okay.
sure.
Okay, I'll start with that. My name is Kristen Thomas, and I'm one of the 5th grade teachers at Little Chico Creek.
I'm Shauna Velasco, as well 5th grade teacher.
I'm Beatriz Sehorn, another 5th grade teacher.
Good evening. Today is Constitution Day, a day that remembers the forming and the signing of the U.S. Constitution back in September 17, 1787. In honor of this day, we, the 5th graders of Little Chico Creek, will be reciting the preamble to the Constitution.
You like each other.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Justice, ensure the domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
That was perfect. Well done, 5th graders. We have been studying the Constitution the last few weeks to be prepared for Constitution Day, and all 5th graders have learned the preamble and the meaning of the preamble, and these are the brave volunteers that were willing to come and share what they learned with you tonight. So thank you all.
Well, how about that? Thanks, fifth graders. Well done. All right.
Thank you.
We do have, let's hear it one more time for these fabulous teachers. Let's give it to them too. Very well done. We do have some business to tend to, but first we have some superintendent recognition. So we do have a certificated employee that we'd like to honor tonight. Ms. Shaw?
Yay, Bart!
I'll take this. Okay, good evening. I'm still Kristen Schrock, and I'm still from Little Chico Creek. And I brought my colleague here under false pretenses. So Amy's home very sick. She's not here. So this is about you. And I'm going to try and get through this.
No.
So, good evening. It is my great honor to present the Superintendent's Award to a truly remarkable educator, Mr. Bart Panic. Bart is without question the face of Little Chico Creek. Hang on, here we go. He is one of the few hand-selected educators who actually opened the school 34 years ago this fall. He has been teaching there ever since. In fact, he has been shaping the young minds of Little Chico Creek longer than some of our current teachers have been alive. Over the years, Bart has become much more than a classroom teacher. He's a trusted leader, a tireless advocate for our students, and the steady, thoughtful voice so many of us turn to when faced with a challenge or a decision. You bring wisdom, perspective, and calm, always grounded in what's best for kids. Bart is also one of the most dedicated professionals I've ever known. He's the first to arrive on campus each morning, greeting students as they arrive to the playground. His presence at school is a daily reminder of his deep commitment to building relationships and creating a welcoming and safe school environment. For our staff, Bart has been everything from mentor to confidant, collaborator to friend. Nearly every one of us has leaned on him at some point and benefited from his insight and support. What's more impressive is that after nearly 4 decades in the classroom, Bart remains engaged, curious, and open-minded as ever. He continues to embrace new instructional practices, strategies, programs, and curriculum with enthusiasm, modeling what lifelong learning truly looks like. Veteran educators like Bart are rare. Veteran educators still at the top of their game are even rarer. Tonight, we recognize not just the years, but the impact. Bart Panic, thank you for the extraordinary service to Little Chico Creek students, families, and staff.
On behalf of the district, you get this piece of paper. So thank you very much, and it's fabulous for you. So let's come on over and take a perfect. All right.
Just thank you for this honor. This really means a lot. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jess Crane. I'm one of the assistant principals at Little Chico Creek, along with Melinda McCauley. We're here today to recognize and honor Christy Zavala, our wonderful paraeducator at Little Chico Creek. She has dedicated over 30 years of her life to education, and every single day she brings knowledge, patience, and positivity into our classrooms. She is the definition of a team player, always willing to jump in whenever she's needed, always willing to lend a hand or have a listening ear. Her loyalty and commitment to our students and staff have made her not only a valued colleague, but a trusted friend. In special education, the work is often quiet and behind the scenes, but the impact is immeasurable. Christy has touched the lives of countless students, helping them achieve milestones big and small. always celebrating their progress with genuine joy. Her dedication is unmatched, her work ethic inspires us all, and her kindness creates a safe and supportive environment for every child she serves. On behalf of our entire school community, thank you, Christy, for your tireless commitment, your unwavering positivity, and the love you pour into your work. We are so fortunate to have you a part of our team.
Thank you.
All right. In that case, we're moving on to announcements, but at the top of our announcements, I'd like to ask whether a representative from CSEA would like to recognize anyone. Hi.
Sorry, I'm a bit emotional. Bart, I'm sorry for lying to you. He was supposed to come honor our CSEA rep tonight who's homesick, so well, it was a great lie. Thank you, President Lando, CUSA School Board, and District Office for the opportunity to be a part of the school board meetings. CSEA Chico 110 is so grateful for the great relationship we have with Chico Unified. When we talk to other classified employees in other districts, they share such horror stories, and we appreciate the great partnership we have with you. Classified employees are the nuts and bolts of every site, and students would not have the learning opportunities without the sacrifice CSEA classified employees make. Thank you for your willingness to allow Chico 110 to celebrate our members with the Member of the Month. These awards are significant as they are nominated by their peers, and to us, there is no greater honor. Yesterday was National IT Professional Day. We want to thank all of our IT folks for all that they do to keep our schools running, our district office running, and everything that they do to keep everything moving. I want to personally thank Patrick Bassetti, Cassidy Dixon, and Emily Allen for camping out at LCC this week as our main admin building has had a network outage that has affected the copy machines, our phones, and all of the admin computers. I'd like to introduce Holly Ponciano, CSEA Vice President.
Good evening. Good evening. On my tippy toes. Thanks. Just don't want to make the big mistake. Good evening. I want to reiterate the same thanks that Kelly has given to everybody within Chico Unified, the board, and families and teachers. I would also like to recognize a group. This week is actually National Truck Drivers Week, and so I just want to recognize the guys that work in the warehouse and nutrition services who supply our students in schools with everything they need, from Amazon orders to our yummy snacks and things that everybody gets to eat. I know them personally all myself, as my husband is one of them. So I know of the aches and pains that he has from hauling food from school to school. But we just want to appreciate how much we appreciate them for bending over backwards, for constantly being there for us. Rain or shine, showing up with deliveries and all kinds of things and getting onto the campuses for everybody to enjoy. And again, so big thank you to them. Next, I'd like to introduce Chandra Gutierrez, our union treasurer, who will speak about our Member of the Month.
Thank you. CSCA Chapter 110 is celebrating our amazing Member of the Month for July, Erica Stillaha. Did I say it right? Yes. Erica is the Senior Office Assistant of Attendance at Chico Junior High School. She was nominated by her office manager, Lisa Gampel, for not only being a multitasking master, but also the go-to person on campus for not only staff, but for students, including my 7th grade daughter. She is always willing to help her fellow attendance clerks with the multitude of situations that arise. We thank Erica for all of her hard work and dedication to our students. Chico Unified and Chico Junior are very lucky to have her. Erica, would you please?
Oh, she just sits down here. You don't get off that easy.
I just want to acknowledge that I work for the best of the best, and I'm so lucky to have all of these wonderful individuals around me on a daily basis. Chico Jr. rules.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. And I just want to reiterate, I think I say this every meeting, but we have such an amazing staff, both classified and certificated, serving such an amazing set of students. It's hard to imagine being luckier as a school district than to have the people we get to work with every day. So thank you all for being here and celebrating each other. You deserve it. And with that, I think if our students would like to leave at this point, because they have homework or sports practice, now would be a good time to do that.
Or showers.
But if you want to stick around and watch us have a meeting, that's fair. You can stay if you want to. I mean, it's okay. Yeah. Next time. Next time. Uh-huh. And then there was one.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Well, I suppose we still are on item 6, announcements. Yes. So, pop quiz. When's the Almond Bowl this year? The October 17th or 18th, whichever one is the Friday. Okay. Never too early to start thinking about it. I'm excited this year. We still got a car up for grabs? Not for us, of course. We can't win it, but. Oh, good. Okay. All right, October 17th. Get your tickets now if you want to get in on the car drawing. That said, anybody else up here have any announcements they'd like to make? I do. Say it, please.
So I've started Reading Pals again, and it was wonderful at Citrus Elementary. And I just want to say it's this year they've gone back to doing in-school. And I think that's really, it's a different feel, and I love it. So I'm very grateful for doing that. And then I also want to give my appreciation to Eileen and Julie Kissel and the whole facilities team. It's been really interesting and exciting sitting in on the facilities meetings. And I know Rosedale is so excited, and my heart goes out to Parkview, who has to wait the longest, but it is really fun to see all the plans, so.
Thank you.
Testing, okay, just want to make sure it was on. I have 2 announcements. One is I was kind of eavesdropping. I do hot yoga, and I was kind of eavesdropping, listening to some people having conversations after class, and lo and behold, they were teachers, and one of the teachers said, "Oh, I am so happy." And the other one was like, "Well, why?" She goes, "Oh, my kids, my students, they are the best. I have the best buddy teacher. I am just so happy." And I'm like, I have got to report this. Yeah, so that was really fun to hear. And then last night, as Greg knows, I was at, and he happened to be there as well, the Alt Ed, their version of Back to School Night. Oh my goodness, what they do for those students. It was like a little party, a great gathering. You know, they provided food, they had a cakewalk, they had some basketball stuff, they had some community members there that could help provide service, and it was music, like it was really nice. And the staff, I talked to several of the staff, and they seem to be just one very tight community, and they all work really well together, and it was fantastic. So if you missed it this year, you got to go next year. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Excuse me. Any further announcements? I feel like we're off to a pretty good start for the school year, though. It's exciting. We are going to then move on to item 7 on our agenda, which is items from the floor. In case we have any speakers, I want to remind the public that items from the floor are for speakers who wish to address the board regarding an item that is not agendized. If you wish to speak on an agendized item, you just speak under that particular item. Because they're not agendized, we are not in the habit of responding so as to avoid accidentally deliberating on something that the public didn't know we were going to be deliberating on. So if we're quiet up here, that's why. That said, do we have anyone who wishes to speak? I didn't have any sign-up cards. Anybody here wish to address the board? Mm-hmm. But it looks like that's a no. All right. In that case, we're going to move right along. We are on to our consent calendar. There are a couple of cool things on there, but nothing I think we have to debate. Would anyone like to pull an item for further discussion off the consent calendar? We got some cool field trips coming up. Anybody want to talk about them? Okay. Well, I will just say that I hope that the trip to Ashland is great this year, because I see it's on, and it's always a big treat for the drama kids. Okay. If we have no questions or items to pull on consent, do we have a motion? Oh, yes, please. Member Robinson.
Thank you, President. Thank you, President Landau. Slow on the pickup. When I was going through the agenda and saw the new course proposals for independent study programs Auto 1 and Auto 2 that we are going to be able to offer in conjunction with Butte College, I was just thrilled. If you haven't taken time to read through those 2 proposals, what we are going to be able to put into place for our students is wonderful. And as the proposal stipulates, it also will provide a safety component for our students to get these skills and knowledges safely because of the wonderful instruction that they're going to be afforded through Butte College. And so I'm applauding our administration and others who put these proposals together. I believe Pedro? Oh, there we go. That it's just, I'm thrilled. So thank you for working on getting those put together. That's it.
That's a good point. Thank you very much. Okay. Anything that we need to pull from the agenda? Going once, going twice? Do we have a motion regarding the consent agenda, the consent calendar?
I move approval.
I'll second that motion.
All right. We have a motion by Vice President Conkin and a second by Member Robinson. This is our first action of the evening, so we'll be taking a roll call vote. Any further debate on the consent calendar before we do that? Seeing none, I'm going to ask that we start with Member Olson.
Olson, aye.
Conkin, aye.
Lando, aye.
Hayes, aye.
Robinson, aye.
It is unanimous. The consent calendar passes. Thank you all very much. And with that, we'll move on to our discussion action calendar. Our first item is 9.1.1. This is Resolution 1703-25 regarding continued funding for our preschool programs.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Heather Cifuentes. I'm the Director of Elementary Education. And so each year we'll bring this resolution to you, and it is to approve the application to show our relationship with the state to continue our funding for running our 7 state preschool classrooms. So our duty is to make sure you are aware and approve of the contract, and that is why I'm here.
Very good. I am fairly certain we're all in favor of continuing to offer the state preschool program, but are there any questions for clarification from the board?
Not clarification, but I just want to say what a tremendous program it is. I'm so lucky that my grandson has entered the preschool program over at Loma Vista, and it is amazing. And I just can't say enough. Going on campus, people are so friendly. People not in his classroom recognize him. It's pretty amazing. So I just want to say what a great service that is for the residents of Chico.
Thank you. I couldn't agree more. It is a happy place over there.
It is.
It certainly is. Any further questions of clarification? Seeing none, does the public have any comment regarding this item? Looks like no. In that case, do we have a motion with this associated with this item?
I motion approval.
I'll second that. Sorry, my mic was already on. All right, so we have a motion by Member Hayes, a second by Lando. Any debate or discussion on this item? All those in favor then signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. And that is unanimous. Thank you very much,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Fuentes. Appreciate you. Item 9.2.1 is a discussion of the unaudited actuals for 24-25.
Hi. Sharice and I are here tonight to present 24-25 unaudited actuals. Can I get next slide? All right. Unaudited actuals represent actual revenues and expenditures for the year. You're used to us coming to you to present a budget, and we do that 3 times a year, so you're really used to it. This isn't a budget, but it's really the true financial performance measurement as of June 30th. Also, these are the numbers before our audit is completed. That could possibly result in some adjustments. We're not anticipating anything major. And the auditors will be on site starting September 29th to complete that work. This is our actual versus funded average daily attendance, or ADA. You guys are used to seeing this slide, so I won't over-explain, but I do want to point out that in 24-25, our enrollment and average daily attendance dropped. So for our local control funding formula, we ended up using prior year ADA. The states recognize that school districts are losing out on funding due to attendance and absenteeism. So we're going to have a new opportunity this school year to recoup attendance via the attendance recovery program. The plans are already underway. It will be working hand in hand with the after school program that we already have in place. All right, this is our general fund income statement. We ended the year with a bottom line of $7.7 million. We had expected to end the year with at least a $3.5 million surplus, so we ended up higher than that. Some of the larger adjustments that were made at year-end close were the adjustment to the fair market value of cash, and that was $1.6 million. The special ed contribution came in $733,000 lower than anticipated. And our expenditures came in $1.5 million lower than anticipated when we prepared estimated actuals in April-ish. All right, so this pie chart shows how our expenditures were broken up in last year. And you can see we spend the vast majority of the unrestricted monies on salaries and benefits. That's the green section. We are in the people business, so that's pretty typical for a school district. We include the special ed contribution in the category because the vast majority of special ed expenses is also salaries and benefits. Yes.
I did ask earlier, but I'm particularly interested in the special education encroachment. And I asked for an accounting of what those percentages have been, and thank you for the response. But I think it's an important bit of information for everybody to know, so I'm interrupting. What I'd like is the trend of what the encroachment has been because of special education costs on the general fund.
So Sharice is speaking to that in the next slide.
Oh,
actually.
never mind.
Do you have the trend? Okay, all right. So just making sure. So, yes?
Okay.
On a separate note, you'd mentioned that there's a plan for making up attendance, and it's going to be coordinated with the after-school program. But since we're broadcasting to the masses, I think it might be important to let parents know, like, what could that look like? I know one thing is that if your child is sick, you can ask for independent study work. But I didn't know if there were other features of that maybe we could highlight.
Yeah. Tina, can you speak to how that's working?
Well, you're right with the independent study packets that need to go home with kids and parents if they are taking up to 14, 15 days of time off. The after-school program has implemented through ELOP funding a new opportunity for schools to garner some attendance back. It cuts according to the hours that they're there and some time frames all related to July 1. So we're still figuring out how that works and how working with Jen McCollin, our CalPads division, how we can record that well and make sure we're recording accurately. So it's a new opportunity for us that we're investigating, but we're always looking for great ways to incentivize people to be at school, to make sure that if they're not there, how can they still get credit for being there? And schools are open to have those conversations with people anytime.
I do have a question. So I know, like, COVID is rampant again. I had it, Julie Kissel had it. It's been bad. And my granddaughter had it, and so she missed several days. Do the independent study packets, do they have to be done, do they have to be requested while the child is out, or could those go home with her now that she's back? Mm-hmm. Is that a possibility that she could still complete that work so that, the school and she could get credit for those days?
To recoup the attendance, Jacqueline, I don't know the answer to that one. That's a great question. We're happy to look into that.
Yeah, I think it's important because I know that her parents would be happy to do that, but, I don't want to, throw off any auditors, but, when your child's out sick is not the easiest time to get to the office to pick up stuff, right?
Yeah.
So oftentimes the whole house is sick, which was the case, so.
Yeah, we'll look into that.
Thank you.
I have a question too, related to attendance. Saturday school, that's also an attendance recovery opportunity that's at the high school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so another part of the unaudited actuals that we look at is in the general fund, transfers in from other funds, as well as contributions. So Eileen, I'll speak to that special ed trend when I get to that bullet point. Transfers in at the end of last year, we had about $4.1 million in redevelopment agency pass through. We use that to help pay for our routine restricted maintenance account, RRMA, which is otherwise known as our maintenance and operations department. And then the other smaller amount there, that $35,000, that's 3% of all of the developer fees that we collected over the course of last year. So speaking to contributions, special ed, our contribution came in at about $22.7 million last year. And that's down a tiny bit from the year before, but we did have a very large increase, to Eileen's point, from 2022-23 to 2023-24. That was about 14%. So it's good that we flattened out a little bit more last year. Jen Scala is working really hard to help support the students that we have. We also luckily have the AMIM discretionary block grant that the board approved the plan to help mitigate that general fund contribution. And so we contributed about $1.1 million from another restricted account to help offset the special ed encroachment.
When I found out that it had flattened or decreased, I wondered what had happened. So that's
our
the
student population
explanation.
definitely is not decreasing.
Yeah.
So our expenditures do continue to grow, but luckily the board took action about a year and a half ago to say that we wanted to put those monies aside to help with the encroachment.
And if I'm not mistaken, and Ms. Scala is gone already, but I think one of the efforts to make sure that our aides match our IEPs to the point where we don't have an overstaffing for IEP accommodations for students that need continuing help. I think that's also been an effort on the part of the department to make sure that those things are, handled, because economics is a big part of how we support our special ed students. So I appreciate the fact that we're coming down a little bit. Thank you.
And Ms. Robinson, I can speak to that. There's certainly no overstaffing, I would say, with our instructional paraprofessionals in our special ed program. I will speak to what the program has been doing the last several years. Is we had some positions that were maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and recruitment became a very challenging excursion, if you will. So what we've been doing is we've been trying to mirror up the length of the day with the hours. So all elementary, we're trying to make all 6-hour aid positions, and then at our junior high and high school, they're all 6.5-hour positions. So we're trying to make sure that there's sufficient aid time for the entire school day, not just components of the day, to support the student and the teacher as well.
Okay, so the other large contribution that we typically every year have out of the general fund is the RRMA. I'm not going to say the whole thing. 6.1 million, and per ed code, that's 3% of all general fund expenditures. So that's a calculation we do at the end of every year. And then we also had a very small contribution, about 23,000, into a new account that is going towards PG&E electric bus infrastructure. So we're working with PG&E. They'll be reimbursing us for a part of the project, but basically to install new chargers for more electric buses at the courtyard. Okay, so this chart shows the components of the restricted side. So now we're talking about grants, Title I, all of the restricted accounts that we have. The largest balance you'll see up at the top there is about $12.9 million. And of that, the learning recovery dollars is the largest amount. It's $9.6 million. The biggest charges that we have coming out of that account in the next few years are targeted case managers, professional development, and reading pals. So we work very closely with Ed Services to make sure that we're spending those grant dollars before the grant expires. And finally, for you guys, so conclusions, as Marie mentioned, our attendance percentage and enrollment was down a little bit this last year, so we were funded on prior year ADA. As she mentioned, we're working really hard this year to try and recoup some of that ADA, so hopefully that won't happen again and we'll have an increase, but we're constantly working on that. The large restricted ending fund balance, we're constantly talking about what that looks like for planning for continued social emotional supports and learning recovery in the 25-26 and 27-28 years. So we'll make sure that all those grants are spent before the expiration of each one. And then the audited financials will come through in January. So as Marie mentioned, we're in the middle of our audit right now. They will come for their final visit the week of September 29th. And then barring any adjustments, the numbers will stay the same. But I will come and report to you, so I'll be back here in January to report on the audit. Okay, and any questions?
It doesn't look like it. That was very clear. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And we'll need approval on the non-audited.
Absolutely. There will be action. Just giving everybody another couple seconds to digest the last. It's always a lot of data, and once in a while a question pops up. We're like, okay, now I heard that. What's this about?
Yep.
Are we, and this might be a question more for Jacqueline, and I ask this every time we talk about the budget, are we anticipating being impacted by any potentially withheld federal money at this point?
I can speak to the funds that the federal administration talked about over the summer that they were going to withhold, but they actually ended up funding us. They are working, they being the federal government, is working on their budget for the next year, and that would impact us in 26-27. So we don't believe there'll be any impact to the 25-26 year related to federal funds, but should there be a reduction in federal funding, it would impact LEAs in California in 26-27.
Thank you. And I know we're looking at our actuals from last year at this point, not the future. Always nice to make sure the public knows where we're at in terms of whether we have anything we need to worry about. So thank you for that. Looks like we're in decent shape for now, which I appreciate. Okay. If there are no other technical questions or questions of clarification, is there any public comment regarding our unaudited actuals for the 24-25 school year? Seeing none, do we have a motion regarding this item?
I motion that we accept the unaudited actuals.
I'll second.
All right, I believe there was a motion by Member Hayes and a second by Member Olson. Any further debate or discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. It is unanimous. Awesome. Thank you very much, you guys. Appreciate your work, as always. Excuse me. We're going to jump right on down to item 922, which is an informational item. We will not be taking action. It is an update on the 2025 summer projects. It's Mr. German.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to come up here and just share just a small glimpse of what our M&O team accomplishes over the summer. You know, when I was asked to present this, I can always come up here and I could literally talk for the rest of your meeting about the accomplishments of our M&O team. They do such a great job every summer. But I figured I'd just give you a few quick statistics, and then we got a slideshow we're going to show that just kind of highlights a few of our projects. But you start to think about what our custodial team is responsible for around the school district. And I did some calculations, and they clean roughly 1,100,285 square feet of space, really on a daily basis, but over the summer, deep cleaning. We've got over 343 restrooms that have to be cleaned and deep cleaned, and we have a plumber that has to take care of every one of those bathrooms. Our M&O staff completed over 700 work orders between June 1st and September 1st over the summer, on top of the summer project list that we presented to you guys as well. And I think district-wide, we have well over 600 classrooms. If you think about, on average, if we had 20 desks in each one of those classrooms, that represents about 12,000 student desks. If we had just 3 pieces of gum on each one of those desks, that means our custodial class had to scrape over 36,000 pieces of gum off those desks this summer. So you start putting those kind of in perspective of the things that we have to accomplish over the summer. You know, our work orders that we do are everything from fire alarm panel testing and certifications to flush valve replacement, irrigation test and repair, heating and air conditioning, continuing maintenance, ongoing maintenance. There's a lot of things that we do every day that aren't maybe flashy. It's hard to get pictures of our alarm tech fixing or repairing the alarm panels, or our HVAC techs up there in the attic in Citrus doing air filter replacements or working on the belts, cleaning coils. But in our presentation, we want to just show some of the more, highlight some of the more showy projects that we do, some things that really can make an impact. And once again, I just want to thank our M&O team, the people that do the work, because they're the ones out there all summer long, just working hard to make sure our schools are up and running for the kids. So if we could start that slideshow, I'll try to kind of tell you guys which school. We put names on the slides originally, but it was really clogged up because the slides go by so quick. So I'll try to announce what these schools are just so you're aware. So this is a Bidwell Junior High locker rooms. We did a full paint over the summer on these, and I think you can really see the difference it made. As you can tell, we also epoxied the floor in there as well. It really is. You know, for the kids to be able to come back to see that change is pretty impressive. We did both the boys and the girls' locker room. This is the front wall. The students like to sit on the bench and peel the paint off the walls. So they can start again. We got a fresh coat on there. We did use a automotive grade paint that's supposed to be a little silver. This is a PE classroom at Fairview. Old green carpet from who knows how old. We've got some siding repairs we had to do at LCC. You can see where the sun and rain has just deteriorated that wall, and there is the new wall. And you can see all those penetrations that were on that wall that had to be removed and, you know, walled around. Parking lot, I believe this was Marigold. Even though it's a newer school site, it's amazing how quick that painting and things start to fade. So it's also amazing how many tracks are already on it again. This is carpeting at Marsh Junior High office. That was original, as far as I'm aware, to the school when they first built it. This is the staff parking lot, some of the cracks that have developed over the years. Flooring at Marsh in the classroom, water had gotten underneath those doors and rotted out the flooring in there. So our carpenter did the repairs, and then we used a local contractor to help us with the new flooring in there and matching up with the school colors. Exterior view, the overhangs over there, all those drain boxes have failed over the years, the original lead boxes in there. So we took the underside apart.
Mr. Chairman, go back. Can you move it back one? Because I'm
going to let our IT gentleman do it. Yeah.
What
that
is
is
that?
the underside of the overhang. So that white part
Right.
there is where the drain, above that is the roof line.
Was this a PV?
No, this is at Sierra View.
Because
Yeah, if you go back one more, that's the before picture. So that's what we opened up to get to that spot where you see
Right.
the next slide.
I've
what's
seen
happened-
that happen at PV where for years you knew it was leaking, and
Yeah.
then when they finally opened it up, it was like, oh my
So the
gosh.
problem on these ones is that white box you see in the next picture, that box there.
Yeah.
It's an old lead-style box in there, and the lead is deteriorated in the corners. So it's not leaking into a place you have access to unless you take apart the roof to get to it.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this slowly over the last several summers, working on this, and this, we got the majority of it done at Sierra View. So you'll see in the next few pictures, you can see where we've made the repairs, got the new drain put together. And freshly painted for them. Lighting project at PV High. So this is the softball field. So way up on that lift, I think you could see our electrician. This was the Yale building. The wind had pulled some of the roofing off. This is Neil Dow parking lot. So we did a new center of the asphalt there was alligatored completely, removed it, put in some new asphalt there and restriped it. We rebark all our playgrounds over the summer. We put in over 1,000 cubic yards of playground bark this summer. This is roofing at the M wing at PV High School. And then some of these pictures are just our custodial crews, some of the cleanup work they've done at the schools. Oh, sorry for that one. Just showing, some of the work that they've done in our classrooms to get them ready for the kids. The stripping and waxing floors, shampooing carpets, as I said, scraping gum off desks and cleaning the surfaces. Our custodians, they take a lot of pride in the work they do, making sure the kids get to come back to a floor that you can see a reflection in. And these are just some great examples of the work that our custodial team does. And that's Citrus Elementary School. Original hardwood floors in there still. And Hooker Oak. And be happy to answer any questions you had, but this is just such a small sliver of the work that gets accomplished over the summer and just trying to highlight some of the things our crews do.
Now I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
When we go back and look at what our dream project list was when it was first presented to us, and it's obvious that we didn't get to everything. Not only is there my concern, but as we have quite a few things yet that aren't checked as completed. And the intention, my understanding is to go back and finish completing those lists during the school year when there aren't kids on campus. Is there a process, a plan, something that allows you to pre-plan when those things are going to occur? Because there's a lot left.
Yeah, so this budget, if you notice, is the 25-26 school year budget.
Mm-hmm.
So this budget doesn't only have to cover this summer's projects, it also covers June of next summer's projects.
Mm-hmm.
So we always hold back some of these projects for the start of next summer. So we're always kind of like racehorses come July 1. We're sitting there ready to get these projects going, and we're waiting for that fiscal budget year to start up again July 1. So when we create this project list, our intentions is not that every one of these projects will get done this existing summer, but it's during that 25-26 school year. And the summer projects, we kind of just coined it that because that's when we get a lot of these work done. But it's really, I think, a more appropriate term would be special projects or extra projects. So over the course of the years, we will be completing some of these projects during the school year as it allows within the educational flow. But then June, as soon as school's out in June, we have a list of projects we start up again in June so that we're not waiting all of June before we get our budget. So that's been common practice for the last quite a few years that we've been doing this.
Do you feel that you're able to do that by assigning current classified employees, or do you utilize some of our always there substitute employees? And if so, what's the advantage of that?
Yeah, so we use a combination of methods to get things done. Like, showing you those 702 work orders that we completed in the summer on top of those summer projects. John Carver, who was a director of M&O for a long time, used to tell me, M&O can do anything. We just can't do everything. And so a lot of times we'll take a look at all those projects that we have listed out, and we'll meet with our staff and say, all right, which ones can we accomplish in-house? Which ones do we think would be a better resource to use some of our local vendors, contractors to do these projects? So it's really a collaboration between myself, Joe, our maintenance staff to come up with the projects we're going to do in-house and the ones that we're going to reach out and ask our local contractors to give us help on. And usually most of the time the driving factor is what's the best interest of our students? How can we get the most accomplished in the shortest amount of time? As you can see, our summers tend to get shorter and shorter every year. This year we had summer school in June. We had early back in August. We had, a short week in the first week of July with the 4th of July holiday falling on a Thursday. So you look and we keep compressing our summers, and yet our workload keeps kind of expanding out. So we use a combination of methods of what is the best interest of the school to get these projects done, whether it's contractors, our wonderful CSEA staff, or whatever means we can do.
The 3% that, get scattered year to year, are you being stretched to the point where you're being able to handle that within the 3%, or should the board be looking at, additional funding because we're increasing our facilities?
Yeah.
And the nature of some of our facilities. I know Tisha and I are currently working on the triplets, the 3 new schools, and some of those designs with the pod concept is going to, my opinion, change how we apply custodial unit workload initiatives and things.
Yeah, that is an ongoing conversation that we have regularly within our department, with Jacqueline, with our district office team, is how are we going to allocate the funds to maintain the buildings that we have, especially moving forward. So that's something that happens daily, really, as we have discussions about it, adding staff, adding positions. And our district office, the board has always done a great job of supplying us the funds we need to get the work done. Now, that being said, if you guys wanted to give me a lot more money, we have plenty of spaces I could spend it on. There's always things that can be done in a school district. There's always projects out there that are on our wish list. But it is part of a daily conversation we have with the district office.
One of the things, because I am on the facilities committee for the 3 schools that are going to be touched, do you have a process for taking a look at what we're planning to say, oh my gosh, are you kidding? We're not going to be able to do that. I know we've mentioned having adequate custodial facilities because every custodian needs a bucket of hot water and a place to dump it.
Need to hang their mops somewhere, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Julie and her team has done a wonderful job of including our department in their future plans. One of the things we did this summer is had several meetings with them, which we call page turners, where our tradespeople, our electrician, plumber, irrigation techs, our alarm technicians, myself, Joe, we all met with their engineers, architect firms, and went through each site item by item of what products do you guys want us to use, what products do you not want us to use, what are some things that you see that you like, what are some things you would like to have changed. And it's really been an open process for us to work with them And, I give credit to Julie for organizing that and working with our teams and really making our tradespeople and our staff feel like they're a part of those decisions.
Yeah, because there's a lot of differences between where we are now with those three schools and where we're going, excuse me, where we're going to end up when we get done.
Absolutely. And, it's a unique thing in a school district. We have buildings that are, built in the 1930s, like Citrus, that we're maintaining, but we also have McManus, that's a brand-new campus. And you have say our locksmith who has to know how to work on these locks from 1930 and these door hardware. We also have all these new mechanical and electronic locks and hardware that's new. Our electrical's the same way. So there's new skill sets that are having to be learned, and our staff has done a great job picking up those that amount of work they do. So, but yeah, Julie's done a great job including us in those decisions.
Well, keep showing up because Tisha and I are on that facilities committee, and we're very interested in making sure that what we end up bringing to the board for approval is something that you guys can, and gals, excuse me, there are many women in our department, can maintain.
Yeah.
So
well, thank you for doing
that. We're welcoming you to be involved. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Thank you very much.
Not so much a question, but just a comment looking through those slides. It's very obvious to me, and I'm sure the rest of the board, that your department just takes a lot of pride in what they do. And I can just tell that you strive towards excellence. And I think it speaks volumes to the families of Chico Unified and also the students. And it's just setting a really good example of being good stewards of our properties and taking care of them. And I think the fact that you are demonstrating pride in your work also, that transfers to the kids, and they're going to have pride in the schools that they attend and that they are going to take care of their campuses. So I think it's a huge example you're setting. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. And our staff members, they're vested in these schools. Their kids, their grandkids, these are people that are a part of these schools. So for them, they're doing this for their families, their friends, their loved ones. So I think they do take a lot of pride, and it shows in the work they do.
Yeah, thank you very much. Are there any other?
Yeah, pass on our appreciation.
Please.
I will. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you so much. Again, we really appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thank you once again for your time.
We'll see you again soon. Have a great afternoon, evening. Is it still afternoon? Just about. I say that because I believe we're at the end of our agenda, unless we are ready for any more items from the floor. So if any of you have been inspired by what you've seen to come up with a new topic you'd like to bring up. Eileen, Mr. Robinson, what you got?
It's not a new topic to bring up. It's my inability as a board member to get through the slides fast enough to know where we are on the agenda. I'd like us, if you will allow, Mr. Chairman, a chance to go back to consent calendar. And it's the last approved budget cost. That's not it.
So
there we go. Consider approval of account payable warrants.
Okay.
3.1.
So we're looking at 831.
Is it 8?
Yeah, 8 is in the consent calendar, right?
Yes.
Okay. So before we do that, I'm just going to real quick make a motion. Is there to suspend the rules of the meeting temporarily to go back to the consent calendar?
I'll second that.
All right. Any debate on that? All right, in that case, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Having done that bit of housekeeping, what do you got for us?
Thank you, because this was some important information. I don't know if the public sees what we go through in the way of looking at these warrants, but there's a lot of stuff out there, and something very important happened in this month's warrants list on September 9th, I believe. I was scrolling and scrolling. That's how long it takes to get through this stuff. August.
When you find it, would you let us know what page of the PDF you're on?
Yes, I
Thank you.
will. Oh, my gosh. See, this is why I missed it on the first time through.
So a quick point of clarification, though. We're not going back to re-vote.
No,
We're
no,
just
no,
making a
no.
comment.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, because there's.
Just double checking, no problem. You keep looking. That's.
There's a lot that
Thank-
happened on September 9th.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Superintendent, but no, everything was fine. It all should have been approved. It was, and I'm thankful. However,
I believe you're looking at the end of PDF, page 33.
Thank you.
34, where's 33? If the public wonders why we get confused, it's because the volume of stuff we go through is huge.
So which item are you
Ms.
looking for?
Robinson, I believe Zach has it up on the screen ahead of you,
Are you
there at the
looking at
bottom.
the Emma Wilson
Thank you, Zach.
restroom?
Yes, it's the restrooms.
Okay, thank you.
For any of us that have been attending the LCAP, student input meetings over the last several years, one of the things the students kept commenting on at all levels, elementary, junior high, high school, is the bathrooms. And the condition of the there it is, the condition of the bathrooms. And this year, we were able to put money toward the bathroom project A. And that project was for Chico Jr. I can't move it.
Chico High and Emma Wilson.
Yeah, so phase 4 of the restroom renovation projects had Chico Junior, Chico High, Emma Wilson
There it
Elementary,
is.
and Little Chico
Yes.
Creek as well. Those 4 schools.
Yes, and the amount was roughly $900,000. It was by contract bid. And one of the questions that I had was, how do we get to take care of the next part, B? Now I'm.
Great segue.
Yes.
So Phase B of the restroom renovations will occur next summer. These 4 schools were able to be kind of expedited because the plans related to the renovation did not have to go to the Department of State architects, which adds a very lengthy process from plans from architect that have to go to the state to be approved before we can even go out for bid, et cetera, et cetera. It extends and elongates that time period. So we are working on Phase B right now with architects to be able to draft the plans to get those to the Department of State architects with the hope that those will be back and we can renovate Phase B restrooms next summer.
Thank you. So for the students that cheered, and many did, the staff heard hooray, hooray, hooray when they got to school and saw the bathroom renovations. If your student is at a school where that hasn't happened yet, be patient, because we know it needs to be finished, and we will do that as quickly as possible. But I did want to, because it was explained, in this warrants process, that's what's happening. And thank you for the work that our people are doing on getting those bathrooms taken care of, because that was a number one thing from the students. Get the bathrooms fixed. We are. I'm done.
Well, since we're back at this, I just wanted to express my appreciation to both Superintendent Blake and to Jacqueline for looking into the water situation. One of the things I noticed in looking at the pay warrants is that, and Ms. Kruger totaled up like yearly what is spent on water at the sites, and it's about $20,000. And that was water that is mostly being utilized by the adults on campus. And my concern was that, you know, we don't serve a student that has a fully formed brain. And so if we are going to be providing, you know, filtered water, it seems like that the focus should be on filtered water for the children. And I don't want to take anything away from staff, but I did want it to be added for kids, and Jacqueline and Mr. Blake are looking into that, and I'm really grateful for that, and I want to say thank you.
It is kind of fascinating to look through the warrants and see all the amazing and varied things that the district does. Like, just because you mentioned it, now I'm wondering what the heck is a scrap monster with feet, which we apparently paid $1,700 for. But that is a question for another day, I think. Unless one of you knows right off the top of your head what a scrap monster with feet is. All right. It's on the same page as the restrooms, just a few lines up, and I was I did notice that when I was the first time, but now I'm like, there's a story there. But before we digress any more, I'd like to return us to our regularly scheduled program. We were looking for any further items from the floor. I didn't think we had any, but now you got one more chance in case you want to talk about scrap monsters. And if we don't, then I would love to see a motion to adjourn this meeting. All right.
I'll second.
All right, we had a motion from Member Conkin, a second from Member Hayes. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful evening.